3, 2, 1, rock.
Paper. Okay, what's up, you guys? 3 times in a row.
I know, what's up with this?
I have no idea what's going on, but welcome to the Panoramic Perspective Podcast, your weekly trip for anime shit. I almost messed that up, but I didn't. All right, today's episode is Blue Exorcist Season 1.
Woo!
Yeah, we've been working on this one.
Yeah.
I guess a good place to start would be, I know Zay watched this before back in the day, and he actually told me about it.
Like when it dropped.
Yeah,
I was like a freshman in high school.
Oh, yeah. And he told me about it, and he was all like, dude, check it out. And then we were like, why don't we just do it for the podcast? How'd you feel about it watching it again?
I remember it being a lot better than it actually was. I'm going to just start off by I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's kind of hard watching if you're looking for something that you want to be intrigued the entire way through. This is not it.
Yeah,
If you're looking this is straight up. I've watched everything on my Netflix queue and Hulu queue. I don't really want to start something new that I have to invest my thought process and time into.
Yeah,
I want to watch something fun.
Yeah, exactly. I would say for me, this anime is kind of I don't really have anything else to watch. Might as well have this in my roster of I've watched these animes, but I wouldn't say any more than that. I mean, it has a cool story. The overall story is pretty cool.
Yeah, the concept.
It's how they deliver the story that really.
There's so many.
Bad.
Well, it's mainly because of their writing. Their writing is just flawed in a lot of places. They'll establish that this is what the character wants in one scene, and then they'll be like, "No, just kidding. He wants this," and then they go, "Haha, we fooled you. He wanted this the whole time." In episode 1, it shows off our first character, who is Rin Okumura. He's portrayed as, a punk social outcast, but he's really kind-hearted on the inside, and he feeds into that role because he feels that he has to. Yukio is definitely the complete solar opposite. He's really nice and quiet, keeps to himself. He'd rather read a book than converse with anybody. It's almost like he's not close with his brother. If that makes sense, just from the very first scenes that we see with Rin, or with Yukio and Rin, we get the sense that he does care. That's his brother. There's obviously an emotional connection there, but it just doesn't really seem like they have that brotherly connection.
In the first episode, I really like the relationship they established between Rin and the priest.
Yes,
because it's they really want you to enjoy and really kind of get attached to this relationship really soon. And so Rin and Fujimoto have this very caring, but kind of playing around, fucking with each other kind of a thing,
you're a weakling. You expect to get all he always says that he's never going to be a ladies' man or something like that. I always thought that was funny, that's his his insult to Rin each time. Is how do you expect to get all the ladies with that mug on your face all the time?
No, yeah. So they really established this nice relationship between Rin and Fujimoto.
In this episode, Rin, he gets a job at a
convenience store,
little market, food market. I couldn't think of name for it.
You were
say Mart. He sees a little girl who's running from something, and he doesn't really know what, and he goes to help her because her scarf, I believe, is being pulled. And he grabs it, and then that's when he sees this little what is it, a hobgoblin, I think they call those things.
I think it's a hobgoblin.
And that just from there, that just went wild. Honestly, the soundtrack goes so hard in the show. They use music really well, because there was this one moment where the piano was going off, dude.
The piano was so hard.
It was so hard.
No, yeah. Honestly, when you're watching anime, for some reason, when there's a piano.
Oh, dude,
a piano, I don't know what it is, but that shit goes wild.
It goes stupid,
it does.
Their fingers are just going a million miles an hour, and it's just giving you this beautiful little harmony. Only one of the brothers possessed the powers and flames of Satan. That's how they represent Satan's power in the show, is through his blue flames, which is also a thing. And Yukio doesn't possess the same like abilities as Rin. So even though that they are twins, only Rin was born with like to be like that vessel almost of
Yeah,
Satan.
for Satan. Yeah.
It's I find this kind of funny because they do this thing in the writing where like they showed flashbacks at this one moment, and in the flashback it was literally everybody was calling like comparing Rin to a demon. It wasn't they were comparing him to like anything other else. It was specifically the word demon. They were just like, oh, you're a demon child. Are you the spawn of Satan? Like I'm pretty sure that was a quote.
The main thing you need to like keep in mind is that normal people don't know about the like demon world. They don't know anything about demons. Like demons don't exist in their mind, and yet they're only calling him specifically a demon.
Yeah, it's not like, because like, you know, I understand people may call like a troubled adolescent youth like compared to a demon in real life, but you know that's not the only thing every single person is gonna call them. I thought, you know, there's thug, punk, like so many other things.
They're just specifically demon,
and then you know, as they're showing these flashbacks, this just happens to be the moment where his flames get shown, and we're like, oh, he's a demon.
So basically, Fujimoto gets taken over, and we finally get to see like the sword. And in this show, the sword is what kind of contains his flames. You know, it's kind of like the gateway for his power that's in Gehenna to come to Asya, to where he is in Earth, you know? And basically, Fujimoto is killing himself to stop him. And Rin finally pulls out the sword. And it's just such a powerful and intense moment. Like, the music is like going crazy, but when he finally pulls out the sword, the music is like so pretty and like soft. It's really insane. It's like this insane moment. Everything is black. There's like demons coming out of everything. He pulls out a fiery sword, and it's just like the prettiest little like tone with like the piano just softly playing. And it's such a great contrast of intensities to present the idea of both like the human and demon world, like this pretty like piano playing for the human, and then like the imagery of like crazy shit for the demon. Yeah. And then the music transitions beautifully, like after he like stopped the Gehenna gate and Fujimoto is now dead, the music transitions beautifully to him like putting the sword away and seeing his dead dad, and the music is now like in line with the imagery because it's so pretty of like the sun coming through the mirrors in the church and stuff, and like he's just laying there like crying over his dad, but now the music matches, and it's supposed to be like this symbolism of like the human side of him like won the battle. It was the one that took over in the end, like he is human.
Blue Exorcist starts off pretty strong in a sense like this.
No, yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, Blue Exorcist gets you hyped off the first 2 episodes. And then like at the end of episode 2, we get this amazing line from Rin Okumura, just, I'm gonna beat the shit out of Satan. And then this is where writing starts kind of getting lazy.
2 mountains like side by side. Like this is the beginning, middle, and the very end.
No, that's exactly. It's like first episodes are pretty interesting, and then we're gonna just take you on this long, deep, kind of boring, just nonsense.
We're gonna go through the whole thing, but like, but I would definitely say this season could have been done in like 6 episodes.
Oh, for sure.
No, instead of the 25 that it's
25. I mean, this could have been done in 12.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it could have easily been one of those like shorter animes, but
and it would have been. I think it would have been better.
So he says like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of Satan, and to do that he has to go to True Cross Academy, which is like a exorcism school, basically, that's like also disguised as like a regular school. And I just wrote this because I thought it was very interesting. I was like, True Cross Academy looks a lot like the Central City like mountain thing from Akame ga Kill.
Yeah, you know,
I noticed there's a lot of like central towns building organizations that resemble like a mountain in anime. Like if you think about Sword Art Online.
And then there's also a Soul Eater, like Death Cross Academy looks the same way. Like
I wondered why that's like such a I don't know what it is about anime, but they just love having that like it's almost like a representation of the power with like the tiny top and then like the big like bottom.
And
I
then
don't know.
it's always like the capital's always at like that tiny top. How we would see priests or exorcists in real life, just like they would come, perform a sermon, and bless the house. It's not like that in the show. This is guns to the walls. They bring out holy water grenades and
Yeah, yeah, those are the best. I thought out of all the weapons, having a holy water grenade was fucking saucy. Like you can't tell me. That's something I really liked from the show is like it had really cool combat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The combat was
the
kind of
combat was
fire.
dope. Yeah.
Yeah. There just wasn't a lot of it.
And then this is where we get into like kind of like the first plot hole, I guess, if you want to call it, because like Yukio's the instructor of one of the classes in True Cross Academy, and then this is where they just drop a bombshell on you that apparently he's been training since he was the age of 7 to be an exorcist.
Yeah.
Excelled since then to become a teacher. Rin just acts all surprised because he didn't know. And my biggest thing is just how did you not know this?
No, yeah.
How do you not notice your brother training to be an exorcist?
Yeah, no, it literally makes no sense. That's like right, like it's your twin. All they show us in the beginning is just a bunch of these flashbacks of like, oh, we were so close. We basically hung out all the time. Like he helped me get my shoe from the power line. It's all like, yeah, but
so where was there time for him to
do that shit?
Because they
like,
show scenes later in the show that he goes to True Cross Academy to train. Like they show some flashbacks of Yukio when he was training, like with Shira.
Yeah.
So like I don't know. I generally don't know how he got away with.
And then this is like the other big thing is like, so Yukio sees his brother as a threat and he would prefer for him to die, basically. Mm-hmm. And why? Because he's the reason why Fujimoto died. He's the one who's like has the power of Satan. Like this is a hardcore origin story.
It's just a hardcore one.
Yeah, like he's just like, I want you to die. Why? You're the son of Satan. So are you. Yeah, but you're the son of Satan. Come on.
It's really funny you say that because like I wrote in my notes too. Like I wanted to protect Rin so I can kill him. Like
like it's just doesn't make any sense.
Like it's just Yukio. I'm gonna bring that up so many times. By the way, Yukio's character doesn't make sense, and there's tons of other characters in here who aren't going to make sense. They're literally going to be like, we hate you, Rin, go die, and then they're going to act completely normal around him and like nothing happened. And
then it goes into this new character that we meet, and her name is Chiami, and she's like this really cute blonde girl who works in the garden. It's kind of interesting because her motivation is the same as Rin's, right? Just for a different goal. Like hers is, I want to do this because my motivation is this person died, so I'm going to protect something. Where Rin's is, this person died, so I want to destroy this thing.
Yeah.
You know? And I thought that was really interesting because Chiami and Rin have a very close relationship in the show. So you're really presenting this idea of which one is going to influence the other.
Yeah.
So what it means to like have a goal.
Yeah, and also like with the introduction of Chiami, we get like that awesome story with her and like the possessed garden with her grandmother. And during this time, to me, they did this really good job of just this inner moral question of representing both demons as the demons that we see on screen that are trying to possess Chiami and others, but also combining that with your like the character's inner temptations or bonds and thoughts and morals with other people. Someone, I think it was Rin, said something wrong, like, you're not helping by doing that. You're just, you're giving up everything that they, the person you wanted this garden for wanted. I found that really cool because it showed that, there are these real demons, but they're only feeding off of your inner demons. And if you're caving into, even if like you're doing something like giving your soul to this demon to bring this garden for your grandmother, you're not doing it with the same intention that your grandmother had. So
there's like an underlying reason to it.
Exactly. It's she's going against what you would really wanted. Yeah, you're making this beautiful garden in tribute to her, but at what cost?
So this is when we start getting into the episodes where we're gonna probably blast through them kind of quickly because we are on the plateau now of the bottom. Like
Yeah.
this guy over here, he didn't have any notes. He literally has notes for episode 1 through 7, and then for episode 8 he put an asterisk. And then episode 17 was his next set of notes. Like, why did you not take notes?
Dude, I just don't know. It wasn't worth my time.
No, you can't say that.
I was watching it, and it was just like, there was literally, I couldn't capture anything. I was just more invested in, like, I don't know.
We're literally doing a podcast for anime. We're watching anime, and you're not taking notes on it.
I still took notes, like, where it mattered. Like, everything comes, like, let's be realistic here. I started taking notes right where things got good again, and we're going to really talk about
that is true.
Everything else is kind of filler leading up to that and backstory, but like not even.
And that's what's like crazy. Yeah, that's what's crazy is I feel like when you have a show that's more Dragon Ball, Naruto, Hunter x Hunter, One Piece, and you need that filler, right? Because this is the kind of show where, we don't have the next arc.
We don't have the next arc. They're still writing it, so we need to fill filler in there.
We need to put filler in there for a show that tries to present itself through seasons, like how Attack on Titan, Tokyo Ghoul, My Hero Academia, those kinds of things. Why, like, maybe some filler, but not for over half of the season. Like, at that point, why don't you just wait or, like, and have more of, like, actual content of it? I feel like it's better when it's an ongoing anime that's, like, very long and keeps going.
And has a necessary filler. Like, I would rather put up with that than just having, like, this filler that you... the worst part is like they do hide like some like important stuff in between the fillers. So you can't just skip it.
Yeah, you have to watch
this really boring story or whatever they're telling, and pick out like the important parts to actually move the story along, which is really hard to do.
It'll be like you'll watch a whole episode, and then the end credit scene is the thing you needed to watch. It's like that one sentence that you're just like, oh, thank God I watched that.
Thank God I have that one sentence to set up like the whole story arc for me, man. I don't know where I'd be without that.
But we'll just keep going. So now we're on to episode 5. So this is kind of just an important thing for everyone to know.
Yeah.
And it's that the Blue Night is a night at which Satan killed all of the world's best clergymen, basically. And we can explain why when we get further in, but you just need to know that. Basically.
Yeah. The Blue Night was just, it was a big catastrophe.
Yeah.
And then like, also this is a reoccurring thing that's going to happen, but I do want to mention this like right in episode 5 is there's like the scene where Rin's getting ready to draw a sword to fight, and he's gonna get gunned down by his brother pretty much. Like Yukio's like, no, I don't fucking do that. What are you doing? You don't use your sword. But it's like weird because literally last episode they had him use his sword, and that's gonna be another reoccurring thing. There's gonna be moments where it's like they call it trust, right? But it's so weird because they'll be like, Rin, you have to use your sword right here. Do it. Defeat the enemy. And then he'll do it and defeat the enemy. And then they go, no, you can't use your sword without us telling you. We don't trust you. And it's like, what?
Yeah,
yeah. Any sense whatsoever.
It's so weird. And that's just, again, like the poor writing aspect of it all, of these very kind of two-faced characters with motivations that are kind of weird. We're already on episode 6.
Episode 6, which is a filler about the cooking demon. Literally, the whole episode, it starts off and it's being all mysterious because Yukio and Rin are eating breakfast, and then they go, "Did you make the breakfast? I didn't make the breakfast.
Who made the breakfast?"
And then, but they don't investigate it. Then they just go on with their day at school.
Like, oh, that's it then.
Maybe I think they say maybe it was Sir Fellis or something.
Yeah.
So then it turns out that Yukio is the ladies' man, I guess, and he gets like all the ladies at True Cross, like they all just want him, and they make him lunch, but Yukio's like a socially awkward dude, so he's like, I can't eat all their lunches, and that's what he's literally, he's just like, I can't eat all their lunches, so I run away and go to my brother or it's so weird, and pretty much the story arc just leads up to them breaking into their
The girls like break into their place to try to what they do, they wanted to throw away the lunches that Chiami gave them or some shit.
Oh, no, because they thought Chiemi was making them lunches, but really it's this demon that Sir Fellis hired to cook them, like make them food. Like, so they have their own personal chef that's a demon.
Yeah. So then the demon finds them throwing out his lunches. He's like, nope, well, I'm just going to cook y'all then. He like throws them into a giant pot, and he's going to cook them. And then this has to be one of the dumbest lines. Rin comes in, he's like, remember what you said? That you're satisfied if someone likes your meal?
Dude, not only
like,
that,
he remembers.
Do you remember how oblivious he was to the situation, though, where he was like, you're not even using the right season?
yeah. It's so bad. And then he remembers, like, how his dad ate his first cooking and thanked him for the meal, right? So and that was, like, a very important part to kind of see just for, like, relationship-wise. So that 10-second, like, flashback is all you needed from this entire...
From this 24-minute episode.
Yeah. So, and there you go. Like, honestly, you could just be like, if you have like a filler list, it'd be like episode 6, like minute 15, 16 to 15,
right when Ukubak is about to like just cook up the girls. Like, that's the only important part you need to see.
Yeah, and there you go. That's episode 6 for you.
Oh, then we got episode 7, baby. Okay, so episode 7. We've already been introduced to the Exorcist, right? But they get brought to Yukio and Rin's dorm because they have like their own isolated dorm, and they're going to like pretty much have like a camp there where they could practice their studies over the weekend. And they do this weird story arc with the bushy-eyed bitch, like the bushy-browed bitch. Chiami wants to try to make friends other than Rin and Yukio. So she looks towards like the bushy brown bitch and her friend, and she's like, I want to be friends with you. And pretty much that just goes, oh yeah, you could be my friend. And she turns her into a slave. It's so bad.
You can't make this up, people.
No, I can't make this up.
Then it goes into episode 8, because what happens basically is they're like in this life or death situation, and then they lived, they made it through it, they were able to defeat the demons that were attacking them. And then the next episode, now this is really confusing, and it's mostly her friend that makes this very confusing, because her friend is like, no, I'm not going to be an exorcist, I don't want to be friends with you anymore, I don't like who you are to people, like, we're not friends. And then all of a sudden the next episode, she's like in bed, and the girl comes and sees her friend, and the friend is like, the friend who said I hate you basically is like, I don't like the way you act, and we're not friends. And then she's like, oh, we're friends now. We've always been friends. I like who you are. Like, you're a good person.
You're a good person. I just don't want to be an exorcist.
Yeah, she's like, I just don't want to be an exorcist. But me and you are still the best friends. I'm like, wait, why are you the bridge? You just told her all this shit about how you hate her. It's like so whack. But yeah, and it's just again, the writing. Like, if you make your characters have this like opinion or point of view, like, stick with it. Make them strong opinions and point of views. Don't make them so easily tossed around because we don't like it. Because now we're like,
it's very dissatisfying to a viewer because it's just. Nothing's happening. We're getting nowhere. That's not character development. That's not solving an issue. You just had a character tell the character that they hate them, and then off screen magically they change their opinion. Like, no.
Yeah. Right? It's like
Don't
you had
these out if you want to go down that line.
It's like you had. Yeah, it's like you had 2 different writers, and one of them was like, no, everything has to be great, and it's like, no, we should take everything apart, and they just kind of hated each other. So every time the writer who was like, let's break everything apart, the one who was like, no, let's make everything good, they would just like right behind each other's backs and be like,
come in at the last second.
Now, you little bitch, you're not changing that shit.
Quick, record the new script now. Record the new script now.
Yeah, and it's just like, god damn it. But something I did put for episode 8, a little note, I just think Rin's blue flames are so dope.
Oh, definitely.
Like, I love the way it looks. It's pretty cool. When he finally pulls the sword, he basically turns into a demon, and he's only in his demon form now. So he has like a tail and like these sharp ears. But what's really weird is like he has the tail all the time, but only
the
when he
ears
pulls out
only
the
come out.
sword.
Yeah, I didn't get that either.
Yeah, I don't really understand that. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was just like a cool little thing. I was like, the flames are dope.
And they and like just in case like you guys thought like maybe we just missed the explanation for that. To my knowledge, that doesn't get brought up at all.
No.
Like literally, it's just like no, your tail's always visible, but your ears, no. Oh,
They
God,
change.
don't. Yeah.
And why? Why? Because we just don't have a way of you covering it up for the show.
That's most likely
the
what it
reason.
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just they didn't want to make him wear a beanie.
Yeah, they were like, we're not gonna make him wear one of these the whole time.
He's got Beats by Dre on the inside.
Yeah. But something I thought was really cool is then we also get to learn about like summoning demons and all this stuff, and they use like these circles, kind of like Full Metal Alchemist. They have like these little summoning circles,
Transmutation circles.
Yeah, and I just thought it was really cool because there's this guy named Neuhaus who is like a good guy, but a bad guy, but a good guy, but a bad guy. And
if you guys have seen Naruto, he's like Danzo, just with a whole bunch
his
of
arm is just covered in the circles, and it's super sick, honestly. Because he's always like he basically keeps his arm in like a raw, injured state. So that way, if he just squeezes his hands, he opens up his wounds to wipe the blood to like summon demons from his arm. It's
and like it like shoots out like these hands too. It's like really cool.
That's what I'm saying. Is like that's kind of lit. Yukio Rin's story arc, and there's like a moment in this episode where like Yukio says like Rin always manages to do what I can't. I guess I'm no match for him after all, because he basically stops Neuhaus or whatever. And it's kind of like settling this in, right? Because when he said this earlier to Chiami, it was like cute, right? Like, oh, he always does what I can't, and you think like, I this is such a dumb note.
Yeah,
I put when he said this earlier to Chiami, it was cute, almost like brotherly love.
What?
Like they're twins.
No way.
Yeah, like they're twins. But it turns out it's like deeper than that, you know, because you see it the second time and it's almost with resentment, almost like jealousy.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, I just, you know, they're setting the stage for like, oh, is Yukio actually jealous?
Yeah. And but they're gonna act like they don't set up those moments though. That's the best part. Like literally, they're gonna set up a lot of moments like this where they show like Yukio's hatred and his vengeance and jealousy towards Rin, and then the next episode they'll be like, no, he doesn't feel like that at all. Like literally, it's so weird because like there will be moments where something will happen and they'll just be surprised that Yukio is like that. They'll be like, what?
No,
I've never seen this from you, Yukio. Like, what do you mean?
There are no notes for episode 10, you guys. Not at all. I'm just totally skipping that episode, and then we go to episode 11, and this is a squid episode. And I really just wanted to say, like, it's really funny if someone came walking in and you're just watching like a giant cat fighting an even larger squid. Like, it seems like that's always the thing. Like, if someone walks in on me watching anime, it just had to be the moment when a giant cat is fighting a giant squid. Like, it just had to be.
It's always like the most like, what the fuck moments.
Always. Like,
you'll be watching something like Naruto, and it'll be like the Naruto versus Sasuke fight, right? But for whatever reason,
like fake out.
Yeah, whatever reason, when someone walks in, it's just the flashback when they kiss.
I was watching like the new season of SAO, and it was like pretty good. Like there was awesome action, and all of a sudden, like my friend walked in on like me watching the anime right when it was like this like, egg enemy who looks like an egg dressed up in all this like kitty gear in like a playhouse, and it was just so bad. I was like, no, I promise you this isn't it's just this episode, this 5 minutes that has like, I was so mad. It happens all the time.
Oh man.
And basically, the fisherman's dad is gone, and then he comes back and everything is happy. Like it, you know what's bad about this episode that I put? Like, even the writers didn't like this episode because he literally has his characters at the end, what a great story. And then someone goes, you think so? Like, why would you put that in there? Like,
yeah.
You're basically just admitting you don't like your own
They were trying to be like self-aware and funny, but it just, when you realize that the writing itself just isn't that good, it's more of like, well, were they being self-aware or were they just like, actually genuinely questioning like
their own story.
Like, do we really think this is good?
No, yeah. Yeah, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And then episode 12, they're at an amusement park. And this is so funny because Chiami comes in and she always wears like the dress or whatever. And
It's
she
like a kimono, right?
Yeah, kimono. And she
Yeah.
finally like dresses in the actual school outfits, which are these kind of like, skirt and
The Japanese, the general like Japanese schoolgirl outfits. Like,
yeah. And
that you see
it's
in
super
anime.
funny because she's like running in and like her breasts are kind of like jiggling, and then the camera pans to like an image of jiggling flan, like jello, like jello just like moving around. And I just thought that was super funny. Like they used jello or flan or whatever for
to
fan
represent.
service.
Yeah, to represent that was their fan service.
Yeah, it was so bad.
Surprisingly, even though like besides like the character Shiro, I don't really think there's a lot of.
I think there's occasionally like there's some with Chiami, obviously.
With Chiami, but like,
and
but
then
like
the bushy browed.
Does she have a moment of fan service? I don't know.
I mean, I feel like she's always in her underwear, and then there's the part.
Oh, you know what?
The
Yeah,
part in the Squid episode where the little kid like grabs her boob.
Yeah, yeah, no, actually, I take that back. That's a false statement. I'm sorry. I see. I just repressed all the filler, guys. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, and that's it for episode 12 as well. Like,
yeah,
there's not much really going on in this that's important. And that's what I'm saying is, this is really that type of thing where I'm ready to just watch something mindless.
Like really, I want like, if you're of like the legal like drinking age, like, and you're feeling a little silly, like you've maybe you've been drinking a couple Modelo's, or you're just relaxing and you don't want to use brain power, but you want to watch something fun, put on Blue Exorcist. You'll probably have more fun if you're intoxicated. I'm not gonna lie, because you're just gonna sit there making fun of it.
No, you will. And then this goes into episode 13. And this, I have no notes on the actual episode, but I do say that the art style is like interesting. I just find that it's like great 90% of the time, but during that 10%, it can be really off-putting and kind of takes you out of the moment.
No, because it's not like, because normally here's my big thing with it. I get it. A lot of mainstream animes have to use low budget cuts at some point, and but they usually hide them within like background scenes or like really non-noticeable cuts.
Or they just have like those. They have those ones where it's literally them going like this.
Yeah.
They like talk for like 2 minutes like this, and it's just like this image the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love seeing those, dude.
But like, I know, that's a budget cut right there. They're saving money on animation, whatever. But like Blue Exorcist decides to make their like budget cut like scenes like the most noticeable ones. It'll be like a 5-minute scene. My mom was summoned down and pretty much exposes Rin during the camp training, and it's very interesting because Rin's blade breaks. The sword that holds his power actually breaks, and this is where the writing it starts getting even more confusing, because you have some students. You have Bon, it's the pink haired dude, bushy brown, and Chiami. They decide that they're going to go to fix the sword to get Ren to control his powers again. Meanwhile, the bald monk, he doesn't want any part of it. Like, he's just like, no. So he's like the only character I could say that they were not confused with yet.
Yeah.
I'll get into it. They were confused. Like he was pretty set on his morals. Like, nah, that's the son of Satan. I ain't cool with that.
Yeah.
So the others, they go through all this trouble of fixing. Like, they even had to find special materials to fix the sword. They had to find like these nails from this burnt down building that could have not even been in the building in the first place. You know what I mean? And they even got attacked by a demon to rebuild the sword. And it gets kind of weird because literally Bond even goes through this big speech of how, I'm getting ahead of myself, but this really just bugs me. He goes through a big speech about how they are not friends, but this is literally after he just went through all the trouble of saving his life. So why would you go through all that trouble if you don't even trust him? And you guys used him to kill Amaimon anyways. Amaimon's still alive. He just gets like reincarnated as a gerbil. It's right after Rin defeats Amaimon. First of all, he does that in literally a stab. So it was like this most like disappointing thing because Amaimon just comes in there, he's wrecking everybody's career. Rin, who is untrained, just literally draws the sword, stabs, puts it in like he knows what he's doing, and then just collapses. That's how it is. And then Angel, who is the paladin, is standing over Rin, and he's about to execute him. And I kid you not. At least in English, I don't know if it was like this in Japanese, but in the English dub, the dialogue jumps over each other right here. So it's literally like this. It goes like, what are you doing? I'm killing him. What? No, Angel, stop. It's like so weird.
I don't know. I don't remember if in Japanese it did that. I just don't remember.
Dude, because it was so weird because the music that was, or like the sound effects that were playing in the background were trying to set this suspense, like to make it one of those like what's like make the viewer like, are they gonna kill him, are they not, type of thing. But just the way that the dialogue happened, it was so weird, like very weird, and it didn't fit with the moment at all. Kamiki like says, or because the bald guy was acting all weird. He's like, what's your problem, man? And Kamiki chimes in. She's just like, oh, yeah, they might be just a little terrified because you can, go berserk at any moment and kill us all. Like it's nothing. That's literally how she delivers
like so calm about it.
He just doesn't give a fuck. Like there's no sincereness in her voice to at least like maybe try to like make him like not feel so bad about it. It's just like straight blood, just you can just kill us all, but who cares?
Like we're chilling with it. Yeah,
we're chilling with it.
I'm ready to die if it need be.
Yeah, and that causes Rin to like want to punish himself, so he punches a vent. So he punches a vent, which like causes all the hobgoblins to like fall from the vent and like surround the room, and they're like all over Chiami. And so he flames up out of instinct to like want to save her, and he like burns all the hobgoblins around her, and she gets engulfed in the flames. And Bon loses his shit. He's like, "What are you doing, you idiot?" And he like, this part makes no sense.
No, it doesn't.
He grabs Rin while he's on fire. Everybody saw Chiami on fire, and he pulls him out of it, and he says, do you know what your flames can do? Those can kill people, you idiot. My parents, his parents, her parents, all dead because of these blue flames that are hotter than everything. But even Chiami says, like, she makes a mental note. She's like, it's not hot. It's not hot.
And she was engulfed in the flames.
It literally engulfed in the flames.
And they didn't know. And then, like he said, Bon literally grabbed him while he was on fire, and nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Like, why didn't they notice that?
I have this in my notes for episode 17 because this generally bugged the. No, not 17, but going into. No, for 17. This bugged me. I'm sorry, because like when he was in the Grigori like sanctum, right, and he was still in that crystal, there's this moment where the sword was shown and it was the flames, and he was comparing the flames to his heart. He literally kept saying, my heart, my heart. And the sword was beating like a heartbeat. So they were comparing the flames, like to his lifeline and his heartbeat. But then not even like 15 minutes later, they change it to his confidence. And Kamiki comes in and she's like, no, well, your flames work just like confidence. When I lost confidence, I almost got my friend killed and myself killed. But, that's just because I wasn't confident enough. If you're really confident, maybe you can do it. And then that's when Rin's just like, oh, why, thank you. Why didn't I think of that? But not even sarcastic. He's literally like, why didn't I think of that? Even though Shira.
wait. That shit was hilarious.
It's funny because Shira
what you just did.
Same fucking thing.
What you just did, my guy.
Oh, what?
Because you were all like, why didn't I think of that? And no, not even sarcastic. Like, he was generally like, why didn't I think of that? Like, you said it exactly the same with the exact same sarcasm.
Yeah, because that's how he says it, but he's not being sarcastic. But and it's I only say that because literally the scene before that, Shira told him that he needs to be more confident to control his flames. But no, he didn't get that message from Shira. Yeah. It's comic. He was like, nah, when I lost confidence, you just need to be confident in yourself. He's like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Episode 18 kind of pisses me off as well because literally the entire episode is they're trying to figure out they're literally trying to figure out who's possessed in True Cross Academy, right? So they check all the seals, but on top of that, like, no one takes into consideration that Konohamaru just hasn't been seen all day. He disappeared early in the morning, but no one compares it to that. And then until like there's this moment where Rin literally sees the demon latching itself like onto him, and he's trying to save his friend.
Yeah.
And like so he tries cutting it up, right? But nobody else can like see what Rin sees. So like
which doesn't make any sense.
Which makes no sense to me
because they are able to see demons.
The exorcists are able to see demons. So how are they not able to see?
Yeah. It literally makes no sense at all.
Later in the show, literally there's a moment where like they explain how they can tell when somebody's possessed. Like how like exorcists are trained to see when someone is possessed.
Yeah.
Neuhaus literally goes, as soon as I saw my wife resurrected, I could tell that she was possessed, but I didn't have the power to kill her. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and it wasn't even like
trained.
Yeah, and he wasn't even like really possessed. It was more like the demon was on his shoulder,
literally chilling,
literally
on his shoulder.
Just like sitting there. So there's really no reason that they shouldn't have been able to see the demon. So again, it's just the writers doing what's convenient for them
for the plot. It was literally just
that's all it is.
For the plot. We need people to hate Rin right now.
And then you see how many times we have said that. That is why we are saying that. I don't know what happened with the writing in this, but it really sacrifices the anime.
It does, because like like we said, it's a cool concept. Like honestly, the concept of Blue Exorcist is so cool. Like who doesn't want to see that? Like the son of Satan trying to get revenge on Satan for taking like what they cared about most. Like that's so cool. That does like sound like genuinely like a fun thing.
It's a dope storyline.
Going through like this exorcist training and stuff. Yeah, I want to see that. But it's just they execute it so poorly.
And then episode 19 is just a filler birthday episode.
Dude, okay, the only thing I have like on that is literally I kind of thought it was funny. This is literally just more of a funny shot, or like someone probably has it as a gif out there too. It's like the opening scene where Chiami's like writing the birthday list, and she's like, all right, birthday party instructions. What happens at parties again? Everybody gets deflated, but for whatever reason, Rin fucking shoots off like a rocket on screen. Like
really?
Yeah, you should.
I don't remember that,
dude. It's like a dust cloud that literally goes. They go to the monastery and they find out that it's been attacked, and their only like leads on like the suspect is they were wearing a mask and they can shoot out webs, right?
Yeah.
And Rin just goes, well, he's got to be nearby. And Yukio's like, we need backup. So they're fighting, and Rin just goes, fuck it, I'm gonna try to find him. Literally, I can't make that up. He goes, I'm gonna try to find him, and surprise, surprise, Rin finds him like 2 seconds after. It's the first alley he goes down just by instinct, I guess. Like this is where every possessed person goes.
Yeah.
And Yukio's tasked down to chasing the masked person, and he chases him down to a building. And this couldn't have been the most like obvious that is not the person you're looking for like thing. But the show is like so content on trying to make you think that Neuhaus is the bad guy here, and Neuhaus is like the masked person, that it's so obviously not him. It's like they and the thing that makes me say that is they put unnecessary evidence on him. Yukio walks up, he sees Neuhaus, automatically he goes, oh, well, Sir Fellis had him attack me and my brother. Maybe he just really wants us dead, you know? And then he picks the littlest thing. He goes, that cobweb on your shoulder. That's how I do.
We're in a clock tower with a bunch of spiders in here.
That's literally Neuhaus's like excuse. He's like, do you not like see this place? And it's literally so obviously not Neuhaus, but then they make you want to believe that it's Neuhaus by making him act like, because an innocent person wouldn't just be like, oh yeah, you're gonna bring me in, like to see you try. Like he straight up said, no, that's not me, I didn't do it. They purposely made Yukio's judgment bad in this episode so he can hate Rin more, so he can get turned over to the dark side, which brings me to, enter in Grandpappy, bro. Grandpappy is no one to mess with. Grandpappy can get in your head like it's nothing. He can tell you that he made the first computer and you would believe it. Because oh my God, I thought this was so funny because Yukio is literally sitting there Yukio is sitting there, and Yukio asks him questions, but this man doesn't answer. He just pushes through his story. He's like, nah, I'm not answering anything that doesn't benefit my story. The man is literally playing Fallout, and he's got his multiple choices at the bottom, and he's like, oh, that one's like, I need a higher charisma for that one. I can't use that option. I'm just go with the one that will move on this story for me. Yukio's got like his sense of mind. He's like, well, we can't just fucking destroy Gehenna. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then as he's like, how are we going to destroy Gehenna? He goes, I made a nuke. With your help, we can take over. We can just summon the gates of Gehenna, drop that sucker in there. Boom! Bye bye, Satan, and get revenge for your old mother, and even turn your brother human again. And Yukio's just like, I'm in. The Pope just has his exorcists just go full on John Rambo, and they're shooting first and not asking questions at all. It is crazy. They literally, Rin is staring into a fire, right? And you have Chiami and Kamaki who are they don't feel right about what they're doing. And Chiami asks Rin, she's like, is this right? And this is the only what I feel serious moment we kind of get from Rin. But it's weird. I'm bringing this up for a reason, because it's weird that they show this. They have that serious moment where it's just Rin questioning his inner morals. That's clearly what he was doing. He was looking into the fire, asking himself, is what we're doing right? Is what we're doing wrong? He didn't feel comfortable about it. But he acts oblivious, like he doesn't even have a thought on it. Literally in the next scene, it's right when the god of the forest attacks their camp, and Yukio guns it down like it was nothing. He kind of acts like, yo, this is my job, and it's almost like he just didn't have that moral dilemma that they just showed us. And so they matter of fact, they redo the moral dilemma right here, because they make it seem like this is where it crossed the line for him, is when he just saw Yukio gun down the god of the forest like it was nothing. Rin is surprised that Yukio was an asshole.
This is the big moment.
It's very weird, because you can definitely tell that they wanted the audience to kind of be surprised with Rin.
Yeah.
But you showed us the entire show. He's been teetering on the side of jealousy and love for his brother. So why now that he comes out to be the asshole that I've seen him be this entire series, why am I supposed to be shocked and care now? That kind of brings us into episode 23, which surprise, Yukio, grandpappy used you. Who would have saw that coming?
Yeah, exactly.
They make the grandfather the shadiest dude. It's almost like they really thought they were gonna catch people off guard with these surprises. Grandfather looks like a supervillain.
Yeah,
he looks like Dr.
Wears
Doom.
a mask. He literally wears this super sketchy mask, and he was even the guy in the very beginning, when he was they were trying to do something. All of a sudden, they lit on fire.
Lit on fire, exactly. Yeah. He's from the very first scene. Yeah.
So we finally meet the mom or whatever, and the mom's name is Yuri, and Satan tries to take her over, and it doesn't kill her. So she's actually a vessel for him. And it's just this really beautiful story of the fact that Satan, she allowed Satan to enter her body and use her body so that he can experience the world, because he burns everything he touches. Yeah. So now using her, he can now experience the actual beauty of the world, which is already, that alone is such an amazing premise, because you think about all the time in romances that oh, this person let me experience life or experience the world. She is literally letting him live inside of her body and have control over it. It's so cool. It's so beautiful.
Yeah,
such a beautiful story. And then they see a bird that died or something like that, and they start what is, then Satan's
I love that.
What is life?
What is death? Yeah.
I don't know
what's life. What's death?
Yeah.
And it was really cool to
because
take
he's immortal.
Yeah,
right?
he's this immortal celestial being that he literally can't comprehend what it is to live or die.
Yeah,
and it was so cool. I don't know how. I really don't know how, but she gets pregnant. Okay. Yeah. And the only reason I say I don't know how is because keep in mind, he's portrayed as literally a blue flame in the show.
Because his body is in
Gehenna. It's in Gehenna. Yeah. So he's each time we see a form of him, it's a blue flame. So he has to literally possess things in our world to exist,
Yeah.
and nothing else can hold his body. Because like I can understand if they were to say, oh, maybe he like possessed something and then impregnated her, but because he was possessing that, like it was his genes or his like or whatever,
Yeah.
right? But the fact that literally there's nothing that can.
It was
No,
probably just some mystic shit, you know, just
I
something
know, but
like,
it's just
oh,
like I genuinely I was genuinely just confused there, like how
I mean, he is Satan. Like, I don't think he follows the rules of biology.
I get that, but at the same time, like
I
they
think you're overthinking it.
I don't care. They explained that every other vessel he's in, it burns, and they show
He
that
didn't
like
use a
the
vessel,
wolf.
I think.
I know, but I'm just saying, like it just doesn't make sense in my head, like because they don't even explain. Like I would have loved, like, oh, he planted like the seed of knowledge with it, or he told me to eat like this apple from, or I was given like this drink from Gehenna, or like some stupid shit. I don't give a fuck. Like, I
It
would have
was
loved
probably
some
just
sort
like
of explanation.
it was probably just like he was possessed. He like was in her body, and then he was just like, "Okay, now you're pregnant." Like, it was just something like super easy. Like, you're way overthinking this. Maybe he like sent his mystic being to an apple, and she like ate the apple. Like, you're overthinking this way too
Well,
much.
I'm trying to understand the logistics here.
You
I
don't
don't
need
know.
to. You
I
don't
don't know
need to.
how it works. That's what I'm saying. Like I was genuinely curious. I wanted to know like how that happened. They have unanswered questions. Damn it.
Out of all the most unanswered questions in this show, it's just like, how did it happen? How? We need to know. This is the only question that matters.
Yukio is possessed by Satan, so Satan's using Yukio's body to do all this. So
Rin confronting Yukio, right?
yeah,
And there's this amazing moment where he's just trying to reach Yukio, right? Because he knows Yukio's in there. And Yukio, or Satan, is just beating the shit out of Rin. And Rin is like calling for Yukio while all this is happening. And I just really like this moment because it really shows the love that Rin has for Yukio, of just he's taking all this pain and stuff because he believes in Yukio, and he's like calling out for him. And then I really also like how Yukio tries to break out of the control that he's in.
yeah.
With Satan,
I like the visuals that they used for that.
exactly.
He was being held down by like himself. Like
yeah. In order for Yukio to break out of the control that he has like with Satan, he has to defeat like his inner demons. And it's really cool because they represent this by like mini versions of like himself, like grabbing him and yelling out all of these negative thoughts, right? And he has to overcome like these demons to finally get rid of the demon that's within him. And it's just a really cool way of portraying that by having all of these like copies of himself being the one that's like the only thing that's pulling him down is himself, you know?
yeah.
And that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they honestly did a really like it's just one of those things that are really pleasant to the eye to see, because there's always those themes that come across in anime where you can clearly tell what they're trying to represent here,
Yeah.
and it's just so visually pleasing that it just you're like, wow, that's awesome.
Rin punches him when Yukio is about to kill himself, and Rin says like, you know what it feels like to be left alone, don't you know how it feels like to be left alone too? Like, I don't want to feel that way again ever. And he's like crying saying this, and it's probably one of the best moments in the show. Like, this is finally like, okay, all of your skill came into this one part, because this moment of him just saying like, I don't want to be alone anymore.
It's like the most character, like actual like different character development that we've seen for Rin, because before it's just he's so always like we've literally been making fun of him, how oblivious and like he just doesn't catch on the cues he is. This is one moment where he's finally expressing his feelings, like, I was lost when we lost dad. I felt like a disconnect. Like, he even says it, like, I felt a disconnect between me and you, and like I don't want to feel like that anymore. And it was like a really good, powerful moment.
You know how we were saying the whole time that Yukio was jealous? Like, everything was just building up of his jealousy. Yeah, it turns out that it wasn't because he was jealous. It's because he loved Rin so much and wanted to protect his brother so much.
Yes,
That
dude.
was
Oh my
was
God.
why. all
Dude,
these moments of I want to kill you, I will literally aim a gun at you, I want to shoot you, you're the reason our father is dead, I'm jealous of him, all this jealousy moments, I'm literally going to kill this boar and then try to kill your fucking pet. All those moments,
no, Rin,
I
it's
love
not
you.
because I'm jealous of you. It's because I love you, and I
Yeah.
promised Dad. Literally, the quote is, "I promised Dad that I would be strong to protect you." It's like, what?
Terrible, terrible, absolutely garbage. I hate it so much. That was by far the worst like story element they had in this show. By
Which sucks
far.
because like it's followed
It
up
had
by like,
potential to be such a good moment.
dude, it's followed up by right after like it's literally good build up. Oh, hey, we're still Blue Exorcist writers.
And then we finally get to the last episode.
Oh my god, the last episode.
Okay, Rin, Yukio, it's up to y'all.
Yeah.
Because we can't do anything at this point. And this is also a great moment because
You just Rin telling him like, please, can we just go back to when we were kids, when you trusted me, when you could see that I can hold my own and I'm not completely useless, you know.
Yeah.
Yukio tells Rin to like jump and attack the Gehenna Gate, but like something happens and like he gets hit by a demon and he starts falling down. So Yukio grabs the sword, right? And like their familiar got hit out too. So like he's literally just free falling towards Rin to grab him. And just as they're free falling, Yukio just decides, oh, I can't reach Rin. You know what I'm going to do? He draws the sword. And as he draws and as Yukio drew the sword, the brothers' flames were summoned, and with a strong bond between brothers and a grasp of hands, they became a phoenix and flew towards the Gehenna Gate. The sons of Satan used their demonic powers to defeat Satan and save the world.
like literally they turned into a giant flaming bird.
Like a big giant blue phoenix. It's like we were watching like X-Men.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I forgot that happened. I've seen this series before, but I forgot that happened, and that made me laugh my ass off so hard because I was literally watching it and I was like, I forgot how they wrapped this up. How the fuck did they defeat the Gehenna Gate?
Yeah, it's literally like when people are like, anime is just a bunch of like weird shit. Like that's the weird shit they're talking about.
That's the weird
literally.
shit they're talking about right there. Because literally it was just like, wait, this makes no sense. You're telling me they could fly? like
it would have made more sense if like they could just fly from their demonic powers or something like Mephisto instead of turning into a giant flaming
phoenix.
That's what was really weird. It's like why
did they turn into a giant
like what if they
phoenix?
just like what if they both held the sword, their powers like combined or something, and then they destroyed it that way instead.
Right? He decides to take Rin to the gravestone and birthplace of them, you know, so that's the gravestone of their mother because and their birthplace, and he tells them everything. And you know, we get this like cool little moment between Rin and Yukio where he's just like, well, what was she like? And Yukio just says, she was beautiful. And even Rin gets like I mean, they turn into a joke with like Rin getting mad at Yukio, like, that's all you can give me, like you can't give me anything else. But like it really just is like a really like nice like heartfelt moment between the two brothers.
No, yeah, and like the light color of the snow and like the gray sky, and they have like the soft music. It's such a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
And it really ends with this Yukio saying like, I wonder if it was wrong for us to be born into this world.
Yeah.
Like if we had it, mom and dad would be alive and nobody would have gotten hurt. His dad, he meant Fujimoto, not Satan. And nobody would have gotten hurt, right?
Yeah.
And Rin is just like, idiot. It's because of their struggle that we're born. Like we were given precious life. Like why are you thinking of it as like because
something bad, like no, they did this because they wanted us to live.
And that's what makes it important that we live. I hope you guys like listening to it. If you're watching us on YouTube, feel free to like and subscribe. It'll really help us out. If you're listening to us on our podcast, you know,
check out the YouTube channel.
Yeah, check out the YouTube channel.
If you would like to see, because like we do a visual performance with this, but you know, like we have like some memes that will fly on screen every time. Makes it a bit more interesting. So if you know ever just want to actually watch something, chime in.